Hello class, welcome to Empowerment Technologies. In this video, we're going to discuss how to use some of the basic functions in Microsoft Excel. So let us first know what is a function and what is its difference in between formula. So functions are predefined formulas that performs calculations using specific values. So functions differ from regular formulas in that after the equal sign, you supply the cell addresses but not the arithmetic operator. So you supply the function name and the cell addresses but not the arithmetic operator. So for example, we have here sum function. So sum function is for getting the sum of the values found in your cell references. So in using formulas, in manually typing the arithmetic operators using formulas, you need to manually select the cell and then type the arithmetic operator, for example the plus sign, and then repeat the process until you select all the cells, reference cells. But in using functions, you just need to type the function name after the equal sign, and then enclosed in parentheses are the cell references and the arguments needed. So functions perform calculations by using specific values, so we call it arguments, in a particular order called the syntax. So in our previous videos, we mentioned that in typing or in entering formulas in our active cell, we need to enter it according to the BODMAS. So we need to take note of the BODMAS and the operation precedence. So here, the operation precedence is just similar to the syntax, wherein syntax is the layout or the order of the function and its argument. And we need to follow the syntax in order for the function to work. So function argument, on the other hand, are the specific input to a function. These are the characters, the cell references, or other characters you place within the parentheses or brackets. So for example, we have here if function. So to write a function, you need to add here equal sign, type first an equal sign, followed by the function name, which is the if, and then followed by open parentheses and the argument. So here we have here if function, and the syntax here is if function followed by open parentheses and then logical test followed by value if true and then followed by value if false. So each of these input within these parentheses are the arguments, and then the chronological order of this function is called the syntax. So function name equal sign followed by function name followed by open parentheses followed by the arguments and closed in parentheses. So in using function, we need to take note of the following. So use an equal sign to begin the function, and then specify the function name, for example sum if or sum. So enclose all the function's arguments within parentheses, and use a comma to separate the function's individual arguments. So comma here is a reference operator. So if we look back at our previous discussion, we have here an example. So the different indicated or identified reference operator by Microsoft. So we have here, we will use here colon, and we're also going to use here comma. So colon is for a range operator, so to identify range of cell references, and comma is a separator of different cell references. So later we'll have an example. We'll have different examples. So we're going to learn this some of these basic operations, or some of these basic functions rather. So arithmetic functions, so using the addition function, the sum function, the product function, the quotient function. some of the intermediate functions, so especially these statistical functions: average, mean, median, mode, count, quanta, and concatenate. And of course, some of the advanced functions such as the if, count if, average if, and VLOOKUP. So we're going to have a demonstration of these functions in our succeeding videos. So for this video, let's start with the basic functions, the arithmetic functions. So let us go to our example. So here we have again our Starbucco organic milk tea. So the costing per glass of Starbucco. So we have here the values, the cost per ingredients, and then we want to know the total. So in our previous discussion, we learned how to use the arithmetic operators. So we manually type equal sign and then manually select the cells included in the operation, such as selecting C4 and then typing in the plus sign, selecting C5, typing in the plus sign, selecting C6, typing the plus sign, and then selecting again C7 and then pressing the enter. So instead of manually selecting, so suppose we have so many we have so many cells to be added. For example, there are 1,000 cells to be added, so it will be an inconvenient process to manually select and type plus sign. So instead of doing it manually, you can use a predefined formula, which is the sum function. So the sum function uses the following syntax. So we enter the equal sign followed by the sum, the function name, and then the range of cells. So when we say range of cells, these are the cells to be included in the operation. So for example here, so instead of using this one, so instead of doing this, we can just use this sum function. So let's delete and use the sum function. So here we can enter equal sign followed by the function name, which is sum, and then open parenthesis, and then the range of cells. So the range of cells we want to add are C4, C5, C6, and C7. So select the range of cells you want to add and then close parenthesis and then press enter. So this will give you the same result as the manual entering of arithmetic operators. So for subtraction, we don't have an equivalent function for subtraction. So therefore, we still need to do it manually. So for example, we would like to subtract 27.2 from 35. So we need to select the cell and type the minus sign manually. So 35 minus 27.2, or C11 minus C8. So that is the answer, the result. So we don't have an equivalent function for subtraction, but we have an equivalent function for multiplication and division. And to do that, let's do the following. So suppose we want to multiply 13 times 14 times 15. So instead of typing it manually, we can just write equal sign followed by the function name. So by the way, the function name is not case sensitive, so you can write it in all caps or in small letters. So here, let's just type here product. That is our function name, and then open parenthesis and the range of cells you want to multiply. So as you can see here, colon is our reference operator. So our references are from C14 to E14. This is a range of cells. So as what we mentioned here, so colon is a range operator. Yan. And then after supplying all the arguments, press enter. So this will be the product. So this is the product of multiplying these three values. And for the quotient, for the division, let's just enter equal sign followed by the name of the function, which is quotient, and then open parenthesis, and then numerator divided by numerator and denominator separated by the comma. So if you want to divide 100 by 50, so place 100 in the numerator and then place 50 in the denominator, and this should be separated by a comma. So D15, comma, E15, and close parenthesis, and then press enter. So this will now give you the quotient of the values. So in our next videos, we are going to discuss and demonstrate how to use some of the intermediate functions in Microsoft Excel. So see you in our next video.